some fundamental questions about tefillah, about prayer leadership. And I'm excited to free ourselves a little bit of some of those questions and dive into the experience of song. So in just about 25 minutes, we'll start davening Kabbalat Shabbat. But before then, I like to ready myself for the process of entering Shabbat with a little bit of song and a little bit of Torah. So let's take a moment and we're going to sing a nigun that we learned together. If you were here last night, I hope you'll help me model this nigun and you'll catch on quickly if you weren't. Please repeat after me. Hi, 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 hi. Let's learn it together, try that. Hi, 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 hi. Diri-dum, diri-da-di-da-yum, bye-oh. Diri-dum, diri-da-di-da-yum, bye-oh. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Diri-dum, diri-da-di-da-yum, bye-oh. Dum, diri-da-di-da-yum, bye-oh. Ay, 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 yes. Ay, 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 ay. Diri-dum, diri-da-di-da-yum, bye-oh. Dum, diri-da-di-da-yum, bye-oh. Ay, 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 try. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, diri-da-di-da-yum, bye-oh. Ay, diri-da-di-da-yum, bye-oh. Let's sing together. Ay, 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 ay. Diri-da-di-da-di-da-yum, ay-oh. Ay, 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 diri-da-di-da, oh, ay, 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 diri-da-di-da-di-da-yum, oh, ay, 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 diri-da-di-da-di-da-yum, oh, ay, 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 diri-da-di-da-di-da-yum, oh, ay, 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 diri-da-di-da-di-da-yum, oh, ay, ay, diri-da-di-da-di-da-yum, oh, ay, beautiful. Just as a little preview, we're going to come back to that for the Chadodi. So don't worry, we'll return to that. Yeah, there it is. Great. So like I said, I like to situate myself for the journey of Kabbalat Shabbat and a little bit of song and a little bit of learning, which is what we're doing now. So I invite you to turn to your source sheet. And here we're going to explore the power of communal song together, the power it has not just to spark joy, but to actually revitalize the self. So we'll look together. This first text is from Sichot Haran, which is a collection of texts by Rabbi Nachman of Breslov. He was a great Hasidic teacher. This is one of my favorite texts. It's good for a person to accustom themselves to reviving themselves with a nigun, with a melody. Because a nigun, a melody, or we can even think more broadly, music, is a powerful and mighty tool, and it has the great strength to awaken a person and point their heart towards the blessed name. And even one who doesn't know how to play music or sing out loud can sing to themselves, and through that, revive themselves, for the lift of a nigun cannot be measured. Beautiful. So again, if we take Rabbi Nachman's understanding of a nigun as not just a wordless melody, which is the literal definition of that word, but of music in general, we learn here that it has the power to really sustain and awaken the self. And Rabbi Nachman says the second half of it, even the person who does not know how to play music or sing, even that person can revitalize the self. Music is an offering to all of us, whether or not we have good voices, whether or not we are skilled. Song is a tool for all of us. So I'd like to take a moment, just turn to someone near you, could be someone you came with or just someone you happen to be sitting with. And if you could share, can you think of a moment, maybe even especially during the pandemic, but any moment where music doesn't even have to be Jewish, although it can be, where music held that kind of revitalizing, strengthening, awakening power for yourself? Just turn and share with someone. Beautiful. I shared with the group that came to learn last night that one of my favorite sounds is the sound of the baby drash, the room where people are chatting and learning, giving way to the sound of song, giving way to silence. So thank you for being in that process. We're going to learn another nigun that's going to make its way through our Friday night davening, our davening tomorrow morning, and then God willing, Saturday night. I hope you'll join me for a concert. We'll sing it as well. This is called Nigun Makom Bina, and I originally composed it for 2 verses from the book of Job. The book of Job, which isn't known for its like upbeat, fun songs, in case you're familiar with Job. But I found these 2 verses that juxtapose chokhmah, which means wisdom, and binah, which means understanding. And they sound like they could be synonyms, but they're really not. Chokhmah and binah, wisdom and understanding. But we'll just do it as a wordless melody. So if you could repeat after me. We'll learn the chorus. We'll learn the chorus first. Ay, 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 ay. Try that from here. Ay, 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 ay. Next part. Ay, 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 da, 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 ay, 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 da, 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 da. Listen one more time. Ay, 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 try that much with me. Beautiful. So that is the chorus. That is the B section. I'm going to take it up a little bit higher because the A section is a little bit lower. So repeat after me, please. Try that. Similar but different here. Let's try that much together. That was perfect. Wow. Next part. Ayam bamba, ayam baba. Ayam bamba, ayam baba. Yadada, ayam bamba. Yadada, ayam bamba. Let's do those 2 parts together from here. Ayam bamba, ayam baida, yeah. Da da da, ayam bamba. Then the last part goes. Let's do the whole verse together. we'll come back to that. I invite you to flip over to the second side of your source sheet. This is another one of my favorite texts. I guess it's not surprising that these are all my favorite texts. After all, I brought them to you this Shabbat, so not such a surprise. But before we really get too deep into Shabbat, I find it so useful to take a moment to recognize my own fallibility, my own humanness, your fallibility, your humanness, and to recognize that in our tradition and how that is embedded into the act of being courageous with our voices, with our songs. So this is a midrash from the Talmud. Our rabbis taught there was a pipe in the temple that was smooth, subtle, made of reed, and from the days of Moshe, and it had a sweet sound. The king commanded that it be covered in gold leaf, but that made it sound no longer sweet. So they removed the overlay, and it returned to the sweetness of its sound like it was before. And there was a symbol in the temple made of bronze whose sound was sweet, but it was damaged. And the sages sent for skilled workers from Alexandria, Egypt, who repaired it, but its sound was no longer sweet. They removed the repair, and its sweet sound returned as it was before. So what's the message of this midrash? What's the message? Take a volunteer. Leave things alone. Okay, can you say a little bit more? I think I know. Can you say more? Okay, simplicity, that sometimes the most beautiful things are the ones that are not the fanciest and the flashiest, but the most simple, beautiful. What else is it about? Yeah. Beautiful. So there's power in making a mistake and then trying what you had before, right? There's power in experimenting with the possibility of change and with the possibility of brokenness. Beautiful. When you embellish something, sometimes you lose its beauty. So there is a lot of beauty when we leave things messy, when we leave things broken. There's beauty in brokenness and pain and in recognizing its natural state. And I would invite us as we... Absolutely, thank you. From Leonard Cohen, there's the cracks that look light and awesome. So I invite us as we sing together this Shabbat, some melodies that are really comfortable and familiar to this wonderful community, and some that might be very new, that we allow our voices to be those beautiful, natural, raw material that does not need to be perfect in order to be beautiful. So I think we have a few minutes left until Kabbalat Shabbat. We have 2 minutes left. Oh, just enough time to sing a little more. So we're going to go back to the Makom Binani Gun, and that's going to take us right into Kabbalat Shabbat. We don't need our source sheets anymore. You can keep them or put them down, but we're going to begin by singing a nigun. And we're going to sing this nigun actually for quite a bit. And from that nigun, we'll go into a nigun that I think might be familiar to this community. I'll share that it's personally one of my favorites of all time, a nigun by the great Rabbi Michal Tversky, one of the greatest composers of nigunim of all time. And one more thing I will say before I stop using words and just use melodies for the next 7 minutes is that you might notice that the room is set up so that the shtender, the amud, the place I'm meeting, is placed in the center with beautiful members of the community with their beautiful voices coming around, or as one student said last night, like it's hugging us. I like to think of this setup as the shaliach tzibor, the davening leader, being in the palm of the community's hand. That when I lead from the center, when I lead like this, it isn't that my back is to you, it's that I'm with you. That we are all together in this, that I'm facing exactly where you're facing, that I am davening with you, and that I am leading by being, as we learned last night in our workshop, by being the Emsa Ha'am within our community. This is what we were studying together last night. The prayer leader as being the Emsa, being within. And that's what we're going to experiment with this Shabbat. So if you are here in this room, thank you so much for having me, the Emsa Ha'am. Thank you for having me within the community. If you're tuning in at home, I'm so delighted that you'll be right there with the community, encircling this moment of prayer and joining us from afar. So with that, we'll sing our way into Kabbalat Shabbat. Kabbalat Shabbat will begin on page 14 with Yedi Nefesh. We'll sing a bit until we get there. Yiridai Hanam Baya Lom Bayo. 40 שנה Page 21. תבושי ולא תקלמי, מה תשוחתי ומה תהני, איי 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 בתזו, אני עמי ונבנתה עיר עתיקה, איי לך אדוני ויקרא לה, איי בנשמה לקבלה, איי לך אדוני ויקרא לה, איי בנשמה לקבלה, ואיי בשיטה שוטי ומחקו כל מבלעים, איי 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 יחסיס עלייך אלוהי, כמסוס חתן הקלה, או איי לך אדוני ויקרא לה, איי בנשמה לקבלה, איי לך אדוני ויקרא לה, איי בנשמה לקבלה, ימי נסותי ואותי, או וידע אדוני תהיתי, איי 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 ידיש ונפרתי ונשמחה ונעימה, או איי לך אדוני ויקרא לה, איי בנשמה לקבלה, איי לך אדוני ויקרא לה, איי בנשמה לקבלה, איי 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 בואי ושלום התקווה, גם בשמחה ובקרבה, איי 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 תוני עם סגורה, בואי חלה, אוי לך אדוני ויקרא לה, איי בנשמה לקבלה, איי לך אדוני ויקרא לה, איי בנשמה לקבלה, איי you can be seated Page 23, the song for Shabbat.
Moving on page 24, the Israel congregation remembers, among others this week, the yard sites of Joan Schlesinger Chesler, David Darrow, Ed Field, Jacob Nathaniel Bookman, Evelyn Levine, Gisky Martin Zwick, Teresa Maslow, Fred Metter, Evan Wyman, and Milton Weiss. As we continue to say Kaddish for Doris Doctor, Ray Naderman, Elaine Stewart, Natalie Scher, Lieutenant Juan Schultz, Judith Cashton, Ray Sherman, Phyllis Werble, Benjamin Dustin, Harold Langerman, David Bauman, Bruce Dahl, Carol Kingston, Gary Joseph Holmes, and Paul Ernest Phillips. Here we are at the end of the period of the St. Kaddish for victims. For those who are reciting tonight, please rise and recite along with me. I just want to mention, since we just said we are Betsy and I are here this weekend, and here as well. Let's know what that's. This weekend, down by the Rosenberg family, memory of his parents, Enter Alfred and Rosenberg. Seemed just an amazing thing after so many years to bring Deborah Saxon stuff. Bring exactly the values that it's before, values of singing to bring people together, which is exactly what that's Vic inherited that. Maybe not from the Dima singing, but they've been so happy to see us so close together. You might have been feeding us this famous French toast, or you might have been hoping for on Arab or Shoshana. But it's exactly what they were bringing. This community, which is so desperate at this time. People ask me, are you nervous about going tonight with so many people together? And I said, no, I love it. I'm only nervous about what I'm going to wear.
So much. I just want to say that it's, I believe that song is one of the most powerful tools in memory. So it's particularly special to be part of this community in a moment of remembering someone that really was so deeply valued that this community remembered these songs. values of song, I just want to take a moment before we dive into Mari, which really marks the beginning of Shabbat. We begin the new Jewish day the night before, as I'm sure many in this room know. Jewish days don't begin at midnight or in the morning, they begin Erev. So we'll be doing Mari. And yet we just sang all of these songs, all of these psalms. And interestingly enough, in the very first song we sang in Kabbalat Shabbat, Yedid Nefesh, we finished with the line, Maher Ahu Kibam, come quickly, my beloved, it's time, it's time. And this is a line of such tremendous urgency, right? There's this sort of like a, come on, tick tock already, it's time, Maher Ahu, let's go, it's time. And in that moment, do we like jump right into Mari? No, we just like sang all these songs, right? All these songs that actually are not halakhically, not technically required. Kabbalat Shabbat is not required. Required means it is not, right? We don't have to sing all of these songs. They are invitations. So this question of why do we start out our evening saying, come on, my beloved, the beloved being Shabbat, Shabbat, the beloved in this metaphor. Come on, let's go. Why do we then luxuriate in song? So I just want to offer one possible answer to that question. This is a midrash from another midrash from the Talmud, from Sachim. And this one offers a response to that question through an imagined creative process of the original singer-songwriter, David Hamaalka, King David was said to have written the Psalms, very intense fermented process. And there's a beautiful midrash that paints a picture of this process that gives us a little window into why do we do all of this singing before we even finish the main event of prayer. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to read this teaching. You don't have it on your sheet or anything. So it reads, if a song begins, Le David Mizmor, of David a song, this teaches that the Shekhinah, the divine presence, rested upon him first, and afterwards he recited the song. However, if a song opens with Mizmor Le David, a song of David, this teaches that he first recited the song, and afterward the Shekhinah, the divine presence, rested upon him. So the sages, looking at all these songs that begin different ways, understood that some of these songs were written because David was already inspired. He was already ready. He was already to be creative. He was already to sing and to connect because he already felt connected to God. And yet there are some songs that begin a different way. And we know that in those moments, David just wasn't there. David wasn't feeling that connection, wasn't ready to write, wasn't ready to sing, wasn't ready to pray. And yet, what did he do? What did he do? He did it, right? He first did it, and then what happened? And then the connection came after. So I like to remind myself by reading this teaching that sometimes we are in a lidah more kind of place in mind, right? We're ready to engage in ritual, in prayer, in song. We're ready to connect to the community. We show up because we want to be together. We show up because we are connecting to God and to prayer. And sometimes we are just not feeling. Sometimes we are just not there. And yet this teaching invites us into the act of song and prayer and ritual as a way to get ourselves. So my kavanah, my intention always right now, tomorrow morning, tomorrow night, and God willing, on and on, is that whether we are in a David more sort of place, we're ready to connect and we want to sing and we want to be together, or whether we are in these more David sort of place that we are not feeling that connection. And we allow the song going to be an invitation. So with that, we're going to sing a very simple hymn. It's called the Sunrise Hymn. It's very simple. I'll just start singing it. And I invite you to stand at whatever point you would like to. We'll take our time getting into it, and we'll meet together for that. So eventually we'll meet together on page 28. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. V'ya'ata et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavecha, u'b'chol nafshecha, u'b'chol me'odecha, v'hayu b'dvarim ha'ele, asher olim tzavacha, hayom ha'levavecha, v'shinata lecha, v'divarcha, v'shivtecha b'beinecha, u'v'lechtecha b'regel, u'b'shachrecha b'kunecha, u'b'shertam le'ot ha'yudecha, v'ha'yudecha b'tzalot b'einecha, u'v'racha, ha'mezuzot b'eitecha, u'v'yisrael. Page 32, 10 minutes, we'll take the green. Ha'chotabetzon gidolehen, Moshe nitzeh hanon shira, B'simcha haba ve'arocholam. Hayanayda-da-da-da-yo. 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 Da-da-da-da-da-da-yo. Hayanayda-da-da-da-yo. Hay minamo haba hey Adonai, hay minamo letavakodesh, Nora tehilot osefer, Nora tehilot osefer, malchutecha uvanecha. Okay, I am living Moshe. Ay, I know it. Adonai no leolam vaed. ושמור צאתנו ונלחם ושלום ותעבד עולם ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו וכל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. Page 34, please join me in rising. ושם Shalom. We are the shalom. Page 47. Shalom, page 48. Miskadal, Miskadosh, Meva, Be'amah, Dimach, Devilef, Machot, Be'chon, Yilchot, Be'chol, Beit Yisrael, Magalah, Vitam, Kairei, Himmeru, Amen. Yesh, Me'erah, Gemara, Be'olam, Be'omaya, Yitzhak, Yishtabach, Yitzhak, 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 Shmei, B'Kodesha, Make it huge quickly. I have to say, Los Angeles, I can hear you around me, I can hear you behind me, and it's just such a chizuk, it's such a strengthening moment to be enveloped in your voices, to be in the palm of your hand. For those of you who joined these learning lessons, be the emphasis in the community. Shabbat We remain standing and we continue with Aleinu on page 51. Aleinu l'shareach l'adon ha'kol, l'adek v'gulam v'yotzeh b'reshit, shelo asanu k'perech ha'atzot, v'lo asamanu mishkachot ha'adama, shelo asam t'aprim k'arem, v'yor aleinu k'kol ha'molam. וכתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני,
Correspondence on page 52 for those who want to pray. Page 52 for those who are reciting. Ikadal v'ikadash shemeracha, v'yamah v'yivrach yiruteh v'yimachuteh, v'chayekon v'yimechon v'layeh l'okei Yisrael, v'agalah v'yizman karim v'yimur amen. Yesh merah melach galam Yikarach Yisharach Yikarar Yisharach Yikarar Yikarach Yikarach Shmei Shapri Le'elah Mikover Atam Shiratam Yesh with Naeem, no, for Israel, may the memories continue to bring blessings to you. And this is one of those questions this weekend. Sure, okay, never sentiments. This is, we're already 2 days into this amazing weekend. We have another day, continuing Shabbat into tomorrow. And so, on the one hand, I do want to say to those people who are joining us by streaming, Shabbat Shalom, welcome. But I also have to admit that this weekend is designed for us. We need it. We've been designing so many things for Zoom and streaming, and it's been challenging, wonderful, and creative and amazing. But this is designed for in person. So we thank and we include everyone by Zoom. But if you're saying, I don't know if it feels just right or if I'm hearing it the way it's supposed to be intended, the answer is no, it's supposed to be intended in person. So we thank everyone who also came in person. So we're doing our best to meet the rest of Shabbat. If there's a way to make it possible to be in person for yourself, please do. So tomorrow morning, we continue the togetherness song, it's Kallah. Saturday morning service, if there were sentiments, we'll be leading large parts of it. As we in the community lead other parts, as we always do in our very proud participatory document culture. Afterward, Shabbat lunch is always, and then following that, Deborah will be teaching, singing through the sea, lamenting at the river, psalm narratives, and so on. I'm going to read just a little bit of the description. How has music expressed both power and joy, suffering and loss throughout the narrative of the Jewish people? Where do we see our own experiences embedded within these sources? So using text, we'll explore the biblical narrative centering on the outpouring of song, building on our own continuous stories of prayer. We follow lunch tomorrow, and then have a little Shabbos break, coming back for a Hamaalka and a Hamaalka, starting at 7:30 p.m. And I hope you'll join us for that. We're excited. This is a community that really we have our usual announcements of our teaching opportunities and so on. I'll suspend those for the moment because I have to say them. But I do want to remind you that next Sunday, in a week, we'll be having our living available with children's activities at Kallah Park. That's Monday, March 13th. And then Wednesday will be We'll be joining together with the Temple Bed. What's their TBE, whatever it stands for. We'll be doing the corn spiel together and we'll bring the greetings and both in the family version, followed by the traditional version. And I also want to mention that coming on Saturday, March 19th, will be Women's Shabbat, the celebration of women on the Bima. There are many amazing singers, but one of the reasons I wanted to ever sentiments is not only but because as a man, I find it and we will have, I won't be on the Bima at all. I'm not Shabbat, but I will be here. All will be led by others. I believe you have all the spots are probably different folks, different ages and generations. But if I'm wrong, you can contact Meg in the back. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to the representatives.
Thank you, Shabbat Shalom. I'll just say that I shared this with the folks last night, but I did my bachelor's degree at the University of Michigan and have not been back in Ann Arbor for 13 years. So this is particularly lovely. And I was in the School of Music, so I did a lot of singing. It was a voice major. And my time at Michigan was when I first started writing music. So it feels particularly lovely to share melodies that I've written with this community as I first learned how to write music here. So we will close tonight. Instead of the usual detail, we will close with a prayer of peace. I know that the world could use every prayer for peace that it could get. So I invite you to hold in your heart whoever you are praying for peace for tonight. And we'll sing the shalom to that sunrise music. Shalom. Shalom. I am